Hey guys, hope everyone is doing well. To start off class, here's an announcement. The call to action paper is due today. Let me know if you need an extension. I'm excited to read your papers. And the big objective for today is that I'm going to introduce the Unit 4 project, which is our last big project for the semester before we start working on the final portfolio. So I wanted to start with a couple of pictures to get us started thinking about this project. So we have Times Square empty, and this was a picture that was taken a couple of weeks ago. We also have the Oculus, pretty empty in Manhattan, though it's one of the largest commuting hubs in the city. And the reason I wanted to start with these pictures is to introduce our new project, which is a photo essay. So why a photo essay? I want us to work on a project that lets us ask the question, what is life like during this time, so that we can document it, reflect on it, have something creative from a time where there's a lot of change, a lot of sadness, a lot of grief, right? So what is life like? What's happening for us? How did things change? Originally, this unit was going to be a remix, taking the call to action paper and translating it into a new genre, but because we're dealing with the virus, I wanted us to do a project related to what's going on right now, so I changed it. Another important thing about this project is that it's a practice in multimodality, which is one of the big themes of the English department in English 1121. So we've been studying mode when it comes to genre, thinking about like the written mode, the visual mode, etc. Multimodality is when you take two modes and you put them together. So the profile that we read of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, for example, is multimodal because it had both the written word but also pictures of her. So this is a multimodal project. Okay, before we get into common elements, I want to show you the assignment sheet for the project. So I'm going to go onto the content page for one of my Monday, Wednesday classes. So if you go under content, you can find the assignment sheet either under Unit 4 or in this assignment sheets tab. And I just want to go over this with you guys. Okay. Let me move this over. Great. So Unit 4, Life in the Time of the Coronavirus, a photo essay. What am I doing? This assignment has two parts. So this is like our other two previous projects where you've had the actual assignment and the genre analysis. So a photo essay is yet another genre that has its own common elements, where people who participate in the genre follow these common elements or these conventions when they make one. So the photo essay. This consists of a written introduction followed by at least 5 pictures with captions that show what life is like during the coronavirus. Feel free to use way more than 5 pictures. That's totally fine, but I wanted to have sort of a bottom line. The written introduction should be a couple of paragraphs. Let's say aim for at least like 300 words. And the idea is that you want to use that introduction to sort of set up what the reader is going to see in these pictures. The second part is the genre analysis, where you analyze your own photo essay using the vocabulary from the Bedford Book of Genres. So that's purpose, audience, rhetorical appeals, mode and media, common elements, style, design, and sources. So same thing we've been doing for the last 2 projects. You do the work and then you analyze your work. Submission details. This is different for Monday, Wednesday people versus Tuesday people. So for the Monday people, the project's due on Monday, May 4th. By the end of the day, submit the project as a Word doc or PDF on Blackboard. If you're in the Tuesday class, it's due on Tuesday, May 5th. All right. Why am I doing this? Why are we doing this project? Life has changed rapidly in the last couple of months. This project gives a chance to reflect and document what's going on for you. And how will this be graded? This project is very flexible and I want you to be creative in how you make it. I'll be looking for two big things when I grade. The first is common elements of photo essays. So does it have a written introduction that gives viewers context of the photo essay? Does the photo essay have a focus? Are there at least 5 photos with captions? Are the photos unified visually? And we're going to look at some samples, just like we always do, that have these things and illustrate these things so that you can use them as models. And then the second big thing I'm going to look for is the genre analysis. Do you use all of the genre analysis vocabulary to analyze your own work? And that's 5 points. So it's 25 points total. But as long as you have these things, you have a lot of free reign in terms of what you take pictures of. It just has to be related to what's going on for you right now in this time when we're dealing with a lot of changes. Okay. So common elements, these are the same as what was on the assignment sheet. It might be useful to take a picture of this or return to this part of the video or look at the assignment sheet so that you know that you have everything. But a photo essay has a written introduction that gives the reader context, pictures and captions, at least 5, a specific focus, and a visual theme. So in terms of focus, there are so many ways that you could handle what's going on with the coronavirus. So how are you zooming in on life right now? And I'll give you some ideas. Visual theme, that basically means that it's clear that all of these pictures are related to each other. So things like, are you putting all the pictures in black and white? Are you doing a lot of zoomed in pictures versus long shots? If you're taking pictures of people, are you taking pictures of their whole body or close up? Basically, the idea is that you want these pictures, when someone looks at them, to look like they're all part of a collection, right? What you don't want to do is pull pictures off of different, like Instagrams or off the internet, for example, because you have to be the creator, first of all, but also if you pull from different places, then the visual theme is not there. So when you're taking pictures, you want to make sure that you're unifying them and that the reader can sort of see that relationship. So let's look at some samples. I'm going to have you guys look at 2 photo essays for homework that I'm going to link on Blackboard, but I'm going to preview them with you right now and sort of point out some of these common elements. So the first is the Great Empty. Let me scroll back up to the top. So I showed a couple of these pictures at the beginning of class, but here we have Paris, Sao Paulo, Milan, New York. This was the picture from the beginning. Oops. And then here's where you see the introduction, right? So their order is a little bit different here because it's an interactive photo essay, but typically the written part goes right up at the top before you look at pictures, and it sets up what's going to happen in the photo essay, and then the pictures come after. So I'll let you guys read this for homework, but when you scroll, you have picture, caption, picture, caption. And the thing about the visual theme here is that we have these big long shots of public places that are usually full, right? They show how different life is right now. So that's the idea of the visual theme here. Let's take a look at the other one I'm going to give you guys for homework. So this one's called A Photo Essay from 6 Feet Away, How New Yorkers Are Handling Life on Pause. This one reminds me kind of Humans of New York, if you follow that Instagram. But what this person did is they're handling this idea in a different way, the idea of life during the coronavirus. So they walked around and interviewed different people, and they have the picture of the person and then the person's quote underneath. So we have the written introduction, and then the person they interviewed and a quote from them underneath. next person, and their quote, next person, and their quote. So in terms of the focus, it's on other people, it's on interviewing. And the visual theme is that we're seeing these people kind of full body shots of the person. Part of that is because of social distancing, but it also helps create this visual theme. And if you notice, all of their bodies are facing the camera directly and they're looking at the camera. This photographer could have chosen to do it differently and take pictures of people looking away from the camera, not noticing the camera, but because they're all straightforward and looking at the camera, it helps create that visual theme. So some ideas for you guys, how you could focus your photo essay. These are just some of my ideas. You could do it totally different, but I want to give you guys some ways you could think about this. So the photo essay definitely has to be related to the coronavirus and what life is like right now, but there's so many ways that you could approach this. For example, you could focus on a specific place, like your home or your job. What does it feel like to be at home right now? How do you document that feeling? And then starting to take pictures that show what it's like to be home. A specific person, maybe you are spending a lot of time with a younger relative, for example, who's not able to go to school in person right now. Maybe you want to turn the camera on them. How are they spending their days? How's it going? You could also turn the camera on yourself and sort of take pictures of yourself over a period of several days. Maybe you want to document, like, to what extent do you do your hair and makeup on different days depending on how you're feeling? You know what I mean? So on another person or on you, you could be the subject of your photo essay. Interviews with quotes to the captions. So this is like the one that I showed you guys that you're going to look at for homework. For some people, this is going to be more doable than others, right? So if you are sheltering in place with not a lot of people, for example, interviewing people might not work for you because you won't be able to take pictures of people. But if you have access and you want to interview people in person and take pictures of them, by all means, this is a really common way to approach photo essays. Day in the life. So this could be like you pick a particular day and you take pictures of yourself going through your routine. So here's me waking up in the morning. Here's me going on my Zoom class. Here's me making lunch, and sort of pick up what's the flavor of life right now for you. Or you could do it for someone else. Like, here's my mom's life right now, for example. Okay. And also, these are just ideas. Like I said, there's a lot of different ways that you could approach a photo essay, and I want to give you guys kind of free reign. If you have an idea that you want to run by me for how you can focus your photo essay, send me an email and we can talk about it. Finally, next steps. So you have a class participation board by Friday. The class participation discussion board is just going to be talking about the value of photography during this time, and if you've seen any pictures that really stand out to you that are representative of what life is like right now. And then the homework discussion board will be due next week on Monday if you're a Monday, Wednesday person, and on Tuesday if you're a Tuesday person. And this will be just focused on what do you think your focus is going to be for the photo essay, and what stood out to you about the two photo essays that you're going to look at for homework. Okay, so I'll post the links to those two photo essays that I previewed with you guys. Take a look at those. They'll help you get to thinking about how you want to do this. And if you want more samples, you can just Google coronavirus photo essays and look at different publications, different people, and how they're approaching this, because I think a lot of people are turning to photography right now for how to document what's going on. Next week, I'll go over some of the rhetoric and strategies of photography, but feel free to start working on this right away and start taking pictures. Sometimes the more pictures you have, the easier it is to pick your favorite ones for the photo essay. I'm excited for this project and to see what people do with it, and email me if you have questions. Have a good week, guys.